Alright, man, we're dropping off our last load. I don't know what that is, but it's heavy. We down here at this oil field. It's lucrative, man. What's up, everybody? This your boy Tez, the logistics rookie, and today I'm going to discuss my first official week of business. Today I'm going to walk you guys through everything that I learned this first week: finances, net profit, cent per mile, picking up different loads, the equipment, and the clients that I did business with this week. You know, it was a great week. I obtained great results, and it was a hell of a learning experience. So I'm just gonna walk you guys through everything I went through this week, and the main thing that we're gonna focus on is numbers, because numbers is the key to it all, and if it don't make money, it don't make sense. So let's do this quick review. Okay, first of all, let's walk back. I was only able to operate for about 2.5 days because I had to go back to the dealership, get some door edges put on my doors, and I had to finish my paperwork, you know, getting contracted with this app that I'm working with, because they provide the clientele to me. So that took about a day or two. And by Wednesday afternoon at about 2 or 3 o'clock, I was ready to roll. And Wednesday afternoon, I had a notification pop up on my phone, and I was able to do my first official load, which I showed you guys in the previous video. I had to take some tires up to a tire shop out in Glendale by the name of 4 Wheel Parts, and that load paid me $27.17. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk you guys through each load that I did this week. In 2.5 days, I did 10 loads. And for each load, I'm going to walk you guys through deadhead miles. For those of you in the trucking industry, you know what deadhead miles is. Deadhead miles is the miles that you travel to pick up a load, but you are traveling empty. You don't have anything in your truck. No load, no freight, no equipment, no nothing. You just driving to the location to pick up the load. That is called deadhead miles. Loaded miles is the distance, the miles that you're traveling to the destination, but you already have your truck loaded with whatever freight you are pulling. So I'm gonna touch on the deadhead load miles and the loaded miles on each load, as well as the loading time, which is the time that it takes to load up my vehicle, and the unloading times, which is the time that it takes to unload my vehicle at the destination. And I'm going to touch on the cent per mile, how much I was paid per mileage for every load that I ran. So this first load, Wednesday afternoon, it was 3.5 miles to pick up to the destination. It was an 11-minute drive to the pickup location. It was a 10-minute wait time when I got there to the loading dock, because the problem that I got with this app, man, when I call these people, tell them I'm there, they always seem confused as to who they are doing business with. It seems like they forget that they put the information into the app and requested a driver. So I had to wait 10 minutes for them to even find out who the flip I was. And it was a 29-minute drive to the destination, to the tire shop, and that was 20 miles away. And it took 2 minutes for us to get the tires off the truck. That was about 4 tires. So in total, that load paid me $27.17, which means I was paid $1.10 per mile, which is great. That is amazing for a cargo van driver. As I said in the previous video, I think those of us who are expediter drivers, we need to aim for at least 90 cents to $1 per mile when we are traveling locally and picking up these loads, because I feel like they give you a good bang for your buck. Because you got to remember, your deadhead miles, your loaded miles, your unloading time, and your loading time, all of that will eventually affect your bottom line. And by the end of the week, you will figure out exactly how much of an impact all that has on your profit side. So you have to consider all of that stuff when you are doing this business. You just can't go out there and accept anything and expect you're going to get a good return on your investment. It doesn't work that way. You have to consider deadhead miles, loaded miles, unloading time, loading time, and cent per mile. So the total miles I did on this was 24.5 miles on this first load. The total time it took was 52 minutes. And that was my one and only load that day, because a lot of these, remember this, if you are in the logistics industry, if you in trucking, or if you in expedited last mile delivery like I am, cargo van, whatever, box trucks, a lot of these shippers and manufacturers, they usually stop shipping out orders at about 3-4 o'clock. And on the weekend, there are little to no people, shippers and manufacturers, who are doing loads. So if you're gonna get to work, man, you need to be up at 6 a.m. and probably try to shut it down by at least 4 o'clock or 4:30, because once 4 o'clock hit, they're not shipping out any more loads. So just keep that in mind. So that was my one and only load that day. I picked that load up at about 2:30 and I finished it at about 3 something, and I didn't get another notification at all that day. And I paid $21 in fuel that day. So it was a pretty good day, considering what I did after that later on in the week. My second load, I picked up some flaming liquid at Sherman Williams paint store. There was 4.4 miles to the pickup, which is the deadhead miles, 12-minute drive, 5 minutes loading time, 15-minute loaded miles, 6.5 loaded miles, 15-minute drive, and that load paid me $11.63, which was $1.06 per mile. Total miles on that load was 10.9. Total time, 35 minutes, which was an amazing load. The key is, you don't want to spend too much time on these loads. Anything over 55 minutes, you in trouble. If the load doesn't pay that well, you need to make sure that your profit is matching up with the amount of miles you're traveling, but also the amount of time that you're going to spend driving, and unloading and loading times as well. So make sure all that adds up, because like I said, at the end of the week, it will affect your bottom line. Now this, after the second load, I started to act stupid. I started to get desperate, and I started to accept any and everything that pop up on my phone. Those of us in trucking or last mile delivery or anything in the logistics industry, we know the rule of thumb: don't get desperate. Don't accept any and everything that you see on your phone, because you will end up making mistakes like I did in my 3rd, 4th, and 5th load. I just was desperate and started acting stupid. But I also did it for the learning experience. Just listen to this. Okay, the 3rd load that I was about to go pick up, I don't know what the heck it was. It was something for a media company that I had to go deliver to. It was 28 miles deadhead to the pickup location. 30 minutes driving. Now when we got there, the shippers took a forklift and they tried to load the pallet and the equipment into my van. My van is a 2018 Ram ProMaster City. It's a small cargo van, not the large like the Ram ProMaster 1500. It's the smaller size, not much cargo space. It's only about, I haven't did my measurements yet. I'm definitely gonna do it after this video, but it's only about 3-4 feet tall and not much width back here. So there's not much cargo space. So the problem with this app that I'm with, they do not tell you what type of equipment you're picking up, The size, the length, or the width, they don't tell you none of that. So once you accept it, you just have to get there and deal with whatever comes to you. So we accepted this load. It was a big, gigantic screen that we had to take to a media company, attached to a pallet. The people with the forklift tried everything they could to load that thing in here, and it wouldn't fit. It just wouldn't fit at the end of the day. It would not fit. And we had to turn down $36 on that load. We had to tell the people we couldn't do it because the load simply would not fit. And I'm gonna tell you guys something funny that we realized about our truck later that day that could have probably did us some good on that load. But this load would not have been worth it anyway because, like I said before, it was 28 miles deadhead. 30 minutes we spent driving there. We took 10-15 minutes to try to fit the freaking thing in the van, and it didn't work. And it would have been 38 miles loaded miles to the destination. So man, that would have been about 66 miles in total. 40 minutes to deliver it, which is 70 minutes in total. So that would have only been 54 cents per mile. My goal for my business every week, we don't even try to hit 70 cents per mile if we can help it. Anything 70 cents and below for local runs, maybe put yourself in the hole. So God was on our side with that load because there would have been 66 miles in total for only $36. You do the math. So another stupid thing I did right after that load, I got desperate and I accepted a load 25 miles deadhead, 27 minutes driving, 5 minutes it took to load it, 22 minutes to loaded miles to the destination, 17 loaded miles, 5-minute unloading time. In total, there was 42 miles, and it paid me $15.96. And it came out to 38 cents per mile. And the total time it took to complete that load was completely unacceptable, man. And I'm sorry, guys, I ran out of space on my phone, had some technical difficulties. But let me wrap this up quick, man. I know these videos be taking way too long. Forgive me. I will do my best to change that. But I'm just giving y'all some game, man, you know, and reviewing and just showing you the ways on if you entering this business on how everything goes your first time around. But let's go and wrap this up, man. So after that load, man, I pretty much started to improve. I noticed my mistakes and I noticed all the desperation that I was doing and all the stupid loads I was picking up. So I started to get better. My 5th and 6th load, I averaged between $80 to $1 per mile. And my 7, 8, and 9th load, I averaged between $75 to $1 per mile. So I started to improve. I started to go up and down. That's why it's important when you enter in this business as an independent courier. You need to start having a goal before you get into it. And that's one thing I didn't have this week. I just pretty much was freelancing and testing the market and see what I like best. So the best load that I had, the absolutely best, was a load that I picked up here in Phoenix, going out to Santan Valley, about 50 miles away from Phoenix in the country. And I had to deliver a truck part to some trucks at a cement field, I think, or an oil field. I can't remember exactly what type of field it was, but it's in the early part of this video. You'll see it, it's in the back of my truck. But that load was 23.7 miles, 70 miles to the pickup. Wait a minute, I think I'm looking at the wrong load, guys, forgive me. I'm looking at the wrong load. Okay, here you go, right here. Okay, pause. Okay, that load was 10.6 miles deadhead to the pickup location. 12 minutes of driving. It took 8 minutes to load it, and it was 39 miles to Santan Valley. And that was a 40-minute drive, so it took 15 minutes to unload it because we had to walk around the field and try to find the guys to take the thing out the truck. And That load pretty much paid us $57. The total miles was 49.6, and that was $1.14 per mile. And the time that it took was 75 minutes. So at the end of the day, that load paid pretty good, and it was the best paying load that I had, point blank period. So basically at the end of the week, this was my averages. My total miles was 305 miles over the spans of 2.5 days. My total pay was $270.28. And my average cent per mile was 88 cents per mile, which is above my goal of 80 miles and above. Remember what I told you, we are not trying to hit 70 or below. 70 cents per mile or below, you get yourself in the hole, in my opinion. So the amount of gas that I spent in those 2 days was $45.89, because this is a smaller truck. It does pretty good on gas mileage. And the net profit was $224.39. And the total time that I spent for those 2.5 days on all 10 of those loads was 8.61 hours. So at the end of the day, man, I did pretty good my first week, and I was able to make a good amount of profit. But a lot of the mistakes that I made, I was desperate. I accepted anything on the table, anything that popped up on my phone, and I just got out of control sometimes. And it's definitely something I'm looking to improve on this upcoming week. But just a few things to keep in mind, guys, when you're just getting started in this business. Pay attention to your deadhead miles. How many miles you have to travel to pick up a load. Pay attention to your loaded miles. How far you have to travel to the destination once you are already loaded. Pay attention to how much time, the loading time, is going to take them to put the equipment into your vehicle. Pay attention to your unloading time. How long it's going to take them to take it out your vehicle. Pay attention. Definitely pay attention to your cent per mile. That is very important, and that has a big impact on your bottom line at the end of the day. And also keep in mind, you need to know what you're picking up. So do your measurements. Measure the width and the length and the height of your vehicle before you even go pick up anything, because you definitely need to know what your vehicle can hold, and can the thing even fit in the first place, because it will prevent trouble further down the line, and it will prevent you from turning down money and turning down loads. And another thing you need to be aware of is, what's the condition of your vehicle? Make sure your tires are good, because you will go through some messed up roads. And because, for an example, the cement field that we had to go to deliver the truck part, a bunch of raggedy roads, man. So make sure your tires and everything good. Make sure your vehicle is, I would definitely recommend having a vehicle no more than 5-6 years old, man. You want to come into this business with a vehicle that, you know, it's not too new, but it's not old enough to where to mess up on you, man, because this is a lot of work, bro, and you got to put a lot of fuel and a lot of wear and tear on your vehicles in order to make a lot of this stuff happen. So keep all that in mind, man. You know, when you first starting out, you're going to take a bunch of wins and losses. I know I did this first week, as you guys can see, but I definitely learned a lot. It was a learning experience, and I'm blessed, and we looking to improve. But guys, stay tuned for the journey. I will be coming to you this upcoming week with how I'm doing and other tips and advice for you guys. But stay focused, baby. Let's go get this money. Let's improve. Let's grow. Let's expand. Stay focused.